Welcome to part 3 of why the Bible I've been reading for 11 years is not the Bible that I'm reading today. So parts 1 and 2 kind of go over how I went from, you can see the other versions actually back here, how I went from the NIV that I've been using for pretty much the whole 11 years. Then I had 2 weeks where I had a bunch of transition where I went from the NIV to the new King James Version to the King James Version to the 1611 King James Version, which I am reading from now. So yesterday we left off in part 2 talking about the Apocrypha. So when I was talking back and forth with chat to get some answers, my iPad keeps closing on me. I had asked it if the Apocrypha was in the original 1611. And the reason this came out to me is because, as I had mentioned, I had gone to the thrift store, not the thrift store, the antique store a couple weekends ago when I was in the middle of my Bible search, and I had found this booth that had all these different books and different old Bibles and different Apocryphas, like little small ones. And coming from the religious background that I came from the legalistic religion that I actually left in my early 20s, I don't know a lot about other text. Because when I came to Christ 11 years ago, I was very focused on, I only wanted to know what was in the Bible because we weren't allowed to read it really in that other religion. They had their own scriptures and the Bible was frowned upon. They didn't believe it had been translated correctly. So I didn't want anything to do with other text. I just wanted to know what was in the Bible. I just wanted that. That's where I was being led at the time. So that's when it was recommended, the NIV study version, and that's what I'd been using. Anyway, so the Apocrypha is basically a section of text. This is what I've gotten from asking back and forth. A section of text that is in between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And only certain denominations currently use it today. So it is included in the 1611. And I was just like, I'm going to flip this around because I'm going to go into some other things about like the text and everything, why it's hard to read. But it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 books of the Apocrypha that is in this particular text. So let's get in and look at it because you guys have been waiting. So I'm going to take this down and I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to try and flip it around. Here we go. Okay. So these are the books so that you can see the Apocrypha books. But there's so many cool things about this Bible. And I haven't even actually read this whole beginning because, as I mentioned in last video, I'm just reading the book in order and I'm in Psalms right now. So I've just been reading in Psalms, but you can see they have this beautiful coat of arms. I don't know what that's for. I'm going to actually have to look up everything. This is pretty much how I've been doing. I've just been looking up everything. But I want to talk to you about the different letterings. So I think this is a good page just to sit on. Okay. So I had asked it why the, because you'll see it like right here. See, this is Joshua, but it's an I. Judges, but they use an I. Over here, like this New Testament, they use an F for an S. And so when I was first reading all of this is Ecclesiastics. See how the F's are, the S's are actually F's. Isaiah, so that has an I, but then the F is an S. So, and then these are so cool. Every chapter and every beginning of everything has like the first letter is in like these beautiful decorated like letters. So this says Genesis hath chapters 50. So it's basically telling you it has 50 chapters. But each chapter, like each thing, like when you go to the beginning, I'll try and find, here's a chapter. Like the first letter is very ornate. So you can see it's a little bit difficult to read, but I'll go through. I want to tell you what it shared with me while you guys can look at this page. So it says the use of the interchangeable F and S, or S and F and U and V in the original 1611 King James Bible and other texts from that area has to do with typesetting conventions and the evolution of the English alphabet, not mistakes or typos. So here's the breakdown is what it says. Sorry if I'm moving this around. I'm just holding it. The long S, which is what looks like an F, was used at the beginning or the middle of the word, and the short S was used at the end of words. For example, it tells you righteousness, and then it shows you where it would have the S's. It wasn't meant to be confusing. It's just the style of the time carried over from Latin script traditions. Then the U and the V were actually considered the same letter. So in the early 1600s, U and V were not yet distinct letters. Typesetters used them based on position, not sound. So V was used at the beginning of the word, even if it made the U sound, and U was used in the middle or the end of the word, even if it sounded like a V. For the example, the word love might appear as L-O-U-E. Same goes for the letter I and J. So you can see that again up here with Joshua and Judges. They were basically variants of the same letter until around the 17th century. You'll often see names like Jesus presented as I-E-S-U-S. So you can see all these, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, they're all I's. You've got Colossians with the F in the middle, Ephesians. So I will tell you, like this word, always epistle to the Romans, like it throws you for a minute when you're first reading it, for sure. So basically it says they're not spelling errors, they're simply the printing norms of the time, much how we use different fonts or capitalizations today. English spelling and grammar wasn't fully utilized until the 18th century. So that is kind of the craziness. And it's probably why, like, we can go through here. Like, this is Genesis. See? Genesis. And then you can see the fonts. Like, how the font is a little challenging. So as you're reading it, and the Lord, and then I would get stuck on this word. B-I... See, that one I would have to go, this is how I've been reading. And I know someone said quit jumping around Bibles, but it's helping me figure out what the word is. And so I can see it. Sarah, as he hath laid, and the Lord did. And see, I'd have to look that word up. So that's why it's taking a little bit to go through it. I'm going to, let's see. I'll kind of show you the beginning. So this is actually the very first page. So you'll see the King James Version, first edition, first printing, copyright 2006. So that's when they probably like copied it, like literally photocopied it. This is from the Bible Museum. I didn't realize it's here in Arizona. Okay, that's cool. So then it goes through the Holy Bible. I don't even know what that word is. The Old Testament and the New. Oh, is it combined? I don't know. Newly translated out of the original tongues, and with the former translations diligently compared and refuted by His Majesty. Special commandment. Anyway, so very ornate. I'll kind of just share this picture. I didn't look at, there's like a lion or something in there. Like the artistry is just fascinating. And I feel like that's what I was excited for. I want to see the maps. I want to see the art. I want to see the extra, not just the word. Like, I feel like I've missed out on all of this extra. Just beauty, and I love it. Okay, so it also begins, and I have not gone through this. I kind of want to go through this with you guys. I want to read it and then kind of go through like what it says. But it starts, this is kind of like the dedication to the king. And then it goes into this whole thing that says, the translators to the reader. So the translator is writing something. And then, basically, I think this kind of, my guess is that it's going back to, you know, the process of translation. So I want to sit through and like read through all of this, but I'm running out of time. So obviously I'm going to have to do another part. We're going to get into everything that's in the foreword. And then I also want to get into, because I asked it this morning, what happened to the rest of the version of the Bibles, like before 1611. And that history was a little bit mind blowing. So sorry about the sun, but I will come back tomorrow for another part. If you want to follow along, make sure to follow.